Well, I've been assigned to Joanna for probably about 2 to 3 years now, and it's been a great experience. For us, in engaging with the workforce solutions, it was really about having somebody that can help me build out training plans, but that could also help me with the recruiting process, honestly. I think as a small or mid-sized business, that becomes a significant challenge to have time for the recruiting and also putting a plan in place. And for me, that has been, very significant. The training plan, that being in place is, I think, monumental. For me, I know how important the onboarding process is and the orientation process is for any new hire. I definitely believe the research that says people make their decisions within the first 30 days of a new job. And so for me, I found that I was spending a lot of time trying to put these plans together. But once I was able to engage with Joanna to actually work through the plan, it actually streamlined my process very significantly. And then also after I've actually onboarded people, I find that having access to a coach where the new hires can work with a coach, on feedback in certain areas or even development early on, that has been a huge saver. And then I'm working with a subject matter expert, which helps. The day one experience, with the on-the-job coach, I think it's very helpful. It solidifies, I think, a level of professionalism, which is almost an intangible benefit. So you have the employee sitting down with their new manager. In the case, it might be me or it might be somebody else. And then they're introduced to, if you will, their onboarding coach. So that says to them right away that, hey, this company cares, they're taking the time, they're taking the energy to actually help me be set up for success. The other reason I think it's important is because it allows us to go through step by step, if you will, what the onboarding experience is going to be without just looking at a simplified plan, because the on-the-job training program is a lot more robust. It identifies estimated number of hours that it'll take to kind of go through development in certain areas, which I think gives people some level of comfort, because you're not just saying you're going to need to work in this area for onboarding, but it's saying that on average, we're estimating that it might take about 40 hours of time to get up to speed, which can help people kind of estimate their learning curve. I think leveraging the coaching resource is valuable both for existing employees and actually employees that are no longer with us. So I'll start with the case where I actually saw it come in very handy. We had a new hire here who stepped in kind of to like a cashier or operations role and started off a little shaky, not as strong as we thought that she might. And right away, we were able to connect her with one of the coaches who could kind of give her feedback in terms of kind of presence, in terms of efficiency in working. And while the working relationship did not pan out, what made me feel really good about the coaching is that I was able to link her with the coach as she was exiting. And we kind of framed up the exit to say, this is not going to be a good opportunity for you, but I want you to work with Joanna, I want you to work with John. There was one other gentleman there who was very actively involved. And I believe that they might have helped her transition into a different role. For those that are still here, I think it's a great ongoing resource, again, because it's ongoing development. As companies only have so much funding or actual dollars to invest into actual training, and to be able to leverage something, I think that state and federally funded actually helps offset that cost. Well, one, the progress report meeting holds me accountable as a manager to having my desired 30, 60, 90-day check-in. So I would say before working with the Texas Workforce Solutions, I would desire to do a 30, 60, 90-day check-in, and it was probably more like a 30-day and then 120-day. And so I think with the progress reports, there's a level of accountability, where you make sure it happens, which also plays into people's onboarding experience. And it's also some very open and dedicated time for both the new hire or the employee to get feedback on their performance. and expectations, as well as share feedback the other way. And it's nice to also have a coach there who could be a third set of eyes or ears to kind of facilitate that and provide feedback on resources that might be available. I think both with coaching and mentoring, they are huge values for people's development. I came out of an environment where I actually used to hire coaches for executives that I worked with when I was in a Fortune 100 company. And so I knew right away if a Fortune 100 and a Fortune 50 company were using coaches and investing in people's development, that there had to be some value. But my immediate is that as a leader and as a manager and as an owner, you want to guide your employees, you want to help them grow and develop. But there's only so much time that you have internally. And I think as with other things in life, it's nice to have a third party at times who could actually work with somebody objectively. I also would equate it to a sports analogy. Every sports team has a coach. They have somebody that helps them on the physical front, on the mental front, on the performance front. And so a business coach or a leadership coach does the exact same thing. Maybe not necessarily running laps for them or coaching them on running laps, but essentially, being an employee and being a high performer is an endurance game as well. And so I think a coach can help guide people to be high performers in the place of employment that they're currently in.